Hi guys, I'm going to give you a key that unlocks something so powerful it will forever change the way you understand women and relationships. By the end of this video, you won't just understand how to keep a woman in line. You'll understand exactly how to train a woman to respect you without ever needing to raise your voice or argue. Because here's what nobody tells you. Women don't follow words, they follow consequences. Now I have to give this disclaimer. What I'm about to tell you is extremely powerful. And like with all powerful things, in the wrong hands, it's detrimental. I ask you to use this for good and not evil, but ultimately I am not in control of how you choose to use this information. Now, this video is going to give you the strong foundation, but if you want to master these psychological triggers and make a woman crave your leadership, grab my book, Attraction Secrets, where I dive extremely deep into the psychology behind women and more. So when you're done watching this, go ahead and grab your copy. The link is in the description. Now, let's break this down and get into it. I want you to imagine that you have a dog. Let's call him Shadow. Now, Shadow has no leash, no fence, just complete freedom. What happens? He roams wherever he wants to. He runs in traffic, he digs up the yard, he jumps on strangers. He has no concept of limits or boundaries. So fast forward. One day you install an invisible fence, a boundary line that Shadow can't see, but he feels the consequence when he attempts to cross that fence. So this is how this would look. The first time he crosses, he gets shocked. He's completely surprised and confused because he doesn't fully understand what just happened. So he tries again. Another shock. Now he starts connecting the dots. A few more times and very quickly, Shadow stops testing the boundary line. He learns where that line is and he stays well within it. Over time, Shadow doesn't need the shock anymore. He doesn't even have the desire to cross anymore because the boundary line is so deeply ingrained in him that staying inside it becomes second nature. Now apply this to women. Women test men just like dogs test boundaries. If she doesn't feel a consequence, then she assumes the boundary line doesn't exist. Now I want you to listen to this very carefully because what I'm about to say next is something you need to understand. A woman without structure is a woman without direction, and a woman without direction will seek chaos, whether she realizes it or not. Women crave structure, and if you don't provide it, she will create her own. And that means one thing: you lose control. Now that you fully understand the psychology behind the invisible fence method, let's break down exactly how to apply it in your life with women. Number one, set the boundary line from day one. So first things first, if you let things slide in the beginning, you've already lost. She needs to know exactly what is and what is not acceptable. If she cancels plans last minute, you don't reschedule. She learns flaking has consequences. If she brings up other men to test you, you calmly correct her. She learns jealousy doesn't work on you. If she talks disrespectfully, you remove your attention immediately. She learns disrespect leads to detachment. Every time she steps out of line, she needs to feel that shock. Not through arguing, not through begging, through adjustment. A dog only understands the invisible fence method when it feels the consequence. Women are no different. If you are inconsistent, if some days you enforce your boundaries and some days you let them slide, she quickly learns that your fence has a hole in it. It starts running wild again. And what does a dog do when it realizes that the shock is not consistent? It starts running wild again. But if you enforce your boundaries every single time without anger, without arguing, just cause and effect, she learns the limits and naturally respects them. Number two, reward compliance, punish resistance. Women learn through emotional reinforcement. If she does something that aligns with your vision, reward her with your attention and appreciation. If she resists, you correct it, and if necessary, distance yourself. No arguments, no explanations. People only argue when they have a point to prove. A lot of men overcomplicate this, but it's actually very simple. Women are emotional creatures. They follow what feels good and avoid what doesn't. If you reward the right behaviors and disengage from the wrong ones, she will instinctively adjust to keep you. Number three, train her through experiences, not words. A woman doesn't just follow rules. She becomes who she believes she is in the relationship. Instead of forcing her to comply, you subtly shape the way she sees herself. Women don't just act, they embody identities. So if she identifies as a woman who respects and follows your lead, she will naturally align her behavior to fit that role. This is how high quality men lead without resistance. They don't demand compliance. They don't have to. Instead, they create an environment where the woman wants to comply. For example, she starts taking care of you. Instead of just thanking her, you reinforce it. I love how nurturing you are. Not a lot of women understand how to care for a man like that. Now she sees herself as a nurturer, and she'll start to adjust herself to fit that mold even more. She follows your lead effortlessly. Instead of making it seem like an obligation, you validate it. That's why I like you. You actually trust a man to lead. Now she associates submission with confidence and security, not weakness. She disrespects you. Instead of yelling and lecturing her, you express yourself calmly and firmly. And if it continues, you remove your presence. When she does correct herself, you don't say, I told you so. You say something like, that's what I expect from a woman who values a real man. Now you're making her reframe respect, not as something she's forced to give, but as a standard she holds for herself. Women don't respond to rules, they respond to identity shifts. When you position your leadership as something that enhances her rather than restricts her, you'll see that she actually starts to train herself. Number 4, never negotiate the fence. A dog gets shocked for crossing the fence on Monday, but if on Tuesday it roams free with no consequences, what happens? Let's go back to our dog Shadow. Let's say a malfunction happened and that invisible fence temporarily went down. Shadow got out, roamed free, dug up the yard, did what it wanted to do. What do you do when you realize what happened? Do you act like nothing happened and just continue on with your day, or do you punish Shadow? The answer is you punish Shadow to reinforce the fence, because the fence is non-negotiable. When you negotiate the fence with a woman, the fence becomes meaningless and a joke, really. Women test to see if your standards are actually real. If you make a rule or set a standard and then you break it, she learns one thing: you and your fence are weak. For example, she dresses in a certain way that you don't respect and you say nothing. She disrespects you in public and you let it slide. She pushes your limits, and instead of enforcing your rules, you cave. In all 3 scenarios, you just made the same grave mistake. You told her that the fence is not real. The moment she realizes your standards are negotiable and not a requirement, her respect for you literally dies. And when her respect dies, so does her attraction. Step 5, become the master. A dog doesn't become loyal to the master just because it likes him. It becomes loyal because the master provides something it can't get anywhere else very easily. Food, shelter, security, leadership, companionship. These are things the dog depends on. The stronger that dependence, the deeper the loyalty. Imagine a stray dog. It has no master, it roams freely, it does whatever it wants, it has no real attachment to anyone. But the moment it finds a consistent provider, someone who feeds it, protects it, loves it, gives it structure, everything changes. That dog forms an unbreakable, undeniable bond with the master because it now needs him for that. Women are the same. Women don't fall in love with men. They fall in love with what those men provide. Emotionally, physically, mentally. Your job is to replace whatever emotional void she's trying to fill. Just like a dog is loyal to the one who feeds it, protects it, and gives it direction, a woman is loyal to the man who fulfills what she feels she's lacking. For instance, if she craves emotional security, you provide stability. A woman follows the man who makes her feel safe. If you're calm under pressure and in control of your emotions, she'll begin to depend on you to keep her grounded. If she thrives on validation, you control when and how much she gets. Women work for praise. It's what cements loyalty. When you selectively reward her when she meets your standards, she starts to seek your approval more than anything else. If she desires guidance, you become the only opinion she trusts. A woman instinctively follows the leader who knows where he's going. A woman will naturally lean on you for direction when you show her that your judgment and your guidance is very reliable. The key isn't giving her everything she wants. It's about controlling the dynamic so she depends on you to experience these things. The more she associates you with what she needs, the more she desires you, and the less she'll be willing to risk losing access to you, because she knows that the benefits only come with that access. Most men think training a woman means teaching her through logic. It doesn't. It's about tapping into her emotions, maintaining control, and guiding her reaction. Just like a dog doesn't comprehend human language but instinctively reacts to discipline, consistency, and rewards, women respond to emotional conditioning and reinforcement. When you do this correctly, you'll notice a couple of things. You'll notice she stops testing because she knows you don't play games. You'll notice that she'll start to invest in you more because she values what she has to work for. You'll notice that she stays in line because the consequences of not doing so is losing you. Master what I just taught you, and you'll never actually have to train a woman again. She'll train herself. And if you're ready to take full control and make her crave you long term, grab my book Attraction Secrets. Links in the description. So with that being said, until the next video, I'll see you guys later. Bye.